Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to see all of you for our first ever virtual convocation. And today is really about celebrating all of you. We're celebrating a little bit differently this year, but that doesn't mean we're not celebrating just as hard. All of you have made the choice to join our team in the College of Education. And today you're going to get a chance to meet some of your new teammates. And we'll continue to celebrate your choice to join us and to pursue a career that's in service of others, which is really amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the one and only Deputy Dean Booth. She is one of the most wonderful people. She's an amazing leader and one of the most talented researchers and educators that I know. So here she is. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Dean Booth.
Well, thank you, Laura. I could not have asked for a better introduction, although how true it is, I'm not so sure. Greetings, all of you new students, and welcome to the college. I'm Julie Booth, Professor and Deputy Dean of Academic and Faculty Affairs for the College of Ed and Human Development. On behalf of the whole college, I want to welcome you to Temple University. We're so excited that you've selected Temple as the next step in your educational journey. Today, we celebrate you, our newest Temple Owls. I want to take this opportunity to say that we are all in this together and we will get through these uncertain times. But we will do more than get through these times. As a nation, the challenges that we face are real. A pandemic, economic hardship, racism, division. Many people are struggling. Some choose to look away from the struggles of others, but you haven't. By choosing to pursue a career in service to others, by choosing to become a teacher or a counselor or a psychologist or to support a community nonprofit organization, you have chosen to step up and make a difference in your community. You have chosen to support others, and by joining us here today, you've taken an important first step towards making a difference in the world and empowering others. Your journey is just beginning, and you do have obligations to fulfill. You have a responsibility to the future children and families that you'll serve to become the best possible teacher, counselor, psychologist, or professional that you can be. This will likely mean late nights studying, long days spent preparing lesson plans, and a great deal of time spent listening to and learning from the children and families you're serving. It won't always be easy, but persevere. Your passion, your hard work, your loved ones, and your community here at Temple will carry you through. I've been here at Temple since 2008, and I want to share that we as a community are ready to welcome and nurture you in your new program. We're here because of you and for you. Your voice, your talents, and your service is needed now much more than ever. Our responsibility is to support you and prepare you to serve the children and the families in our community as effectively as possible. We have planned this convocation event tonight and the rest of the week and all of our welcome events with you in mind. Please feel free after this week to reach out to me or to your faculty leader that you'll meet today in our breakout sessions. I stand with you, Temple proud. And now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Sally Gould-Taylor, our Interim Executive Director of the Institute on Disabilities.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Temple. Thank you, Julie, for the lovely introduction. I just want to take a moment to introduce myself and the Institute on Disabilities. We are one of the research and training centers or institutes that are housed in the College of Education, and we've been at Temple for over 40 years. So as you get to know and start your education, you'll start to think about what are the ways that you want to be involved in the community. What are the ways that you want to be involved in action and research? And we're one of those places in which you can participate in those things as you move on in your education in the future. If you're interested in working alongside people with disabilities and their family members in various educational settings, look us up, look on our website and give us an email, and we'd be more than interested in supporting your engagement within the Temple community, the North Philadelphia community, and the greater community throughout Southeast Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. So welcome to Temple, enjoy your education, and think about how, as we all do in the college, how we can be involved in the community as we go. Thanks, and now I'm gonna pass it on to Dr. Katie Burke. Katie works at the Institute as a senior research associate, and she's also a member of the faculty in the special education department in teaching and learning.
Thanks, Sally. It's wonderful to have all of you here today. Before I jump into our service activities, which we're really excited to get started with, we're going to quickly circle back to the agenda just to go over what we'll do today. So right now, we're just quickly sharing some information with you. We had a wonderful convocation message from Dean Booth, and now we will jump into our first service activity, which we'll do from about 4:25 until about 5:25, so over the next hour or so, before we move into our second service activity. Both of those involve some breakout rooms where you'll get to chat with some of your other classmates in the College of Education and Human Development, as well as be one-on-one with either one or more faculty and staff from the college. And we'll come back together to briefly share about the experience in the second small group activity, and then we'll wrap up with some time for questions as well as an overview of what's coming up this week. So moving back to our service activities, as Sally just mentioned, serving the community and recognizing the important role Temple plays as part of our local community, as well as the potential for our impact at a greater level, both nationally and globally. Something we always include as part of Convocation are service activities. So we think about how can we use this time together to both grow as a community and to give back to our community. We certainly had some slightly more challenging circumstances this time around with thinking about how we could do it all virtually, but we have a wonderful team here in the College of Education and Human Development, and we came up with some creative ways for us to spend some time together getting to know one another and thinking about how we can serve our community. So as I mentioned in the agenda, there will be 2 service activities. This is the first one that we'll do over the next hour or so. We're calling this one Learn, Share, Give because there are 3 components to it. The first idea is that you're going to learn about some of the community-directed programs and initiatives that are part or associated with the College of Education and Human Development. You'll do that within a small breakout room that will also give you the opportunity to get to know one another, as I mentioned that, in a more intimate setting. Then we'll move on to the share stage where we can actually share out with our whole Zoom room here. Right now we're at 96 participants. For those of you interested in going into education or maybe who already are in education, this is actually a strategy you might take into the classroom with you. It's called a jigsaw puzzle discussion. And so what you're each doing is representing a piece of the puzzle, and then we'll come back and put it all together to complete the picture. And the give portion is that really for every student participating today in service activity number 1, we're going to be donating 1 book to 2 of our partner organizations that you're going to be learning about, which are Norris and Jumpstart. So we will jump to the next slide where I can give you a bit more detail. In just a moment before we go into the breakout rooms, I'm going to share the guidance page with you, and I ask that each of you, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat right now. I ask that each of you go ahead and download this so that you have it to take with you into the breakout rooms. In just a moment, because I'm having a slight difficulty getting it to populate there. But this gives the overview of what your group is going to be assigned to do. So you'll be assigned one of the college's fantastic partner organizations and initiatives to explore their website. First, we're going to give you 5 minutes to spend some time doing a little icebreaker to get to know your small group, as well as the faculty and staff person or people that are there with you. Then you'll spend about 10 minutes searching that website, as well as doing a quick internet search that we're all familiar with to learn a bit more about what they do, who they serve. You'll see some of our core questions there. After that 15 minutes, you'll automatically come back together as a group from the breakout rooms, and we'll do that share that we talked about. So we can go ahead and skip to the next slide, and I'm going to try to share our document here again. I'm wondering if one of our other co-hosts want to go ahead and share that document, because for some reason, it's not letting me right now. And in just a moment, Erica is going to send you off into those breakout rooms. Any questions about this first activity before we get started? So these are going to be your breakout groups, even if you're not able to have that PDF that we were hoping for you to have downloaded from the chat. You'll know by your group number what initiative or program you've been assigned to look up. So there you can see the 9 different options. Those are, again, all associated with the college, and by your group number, that's what you have to look up. So if you're group number 6, you'll be spending about 10 minutes getting to know a little bit more about Temple education scholars. Yeah, so unfortunately, this is not allowing us to share right now through the chat, which it had been doing.
I think I was just able to share it.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thanks, Julie. Saving the day. Okay, so Julie just shared that. In just a moment, Erica, who's on the call with our dean's office, is going to send you off into those breakout groups. When you get into your breakout group, open up that PDF that Julie just sent. That will give you your icebreaker information, which you can spend 5 minutes on, and then 10 minutes sort of gathering information and talking about how you want to present your piece of the jigsaw puzzle. You'll have 1 minute to present when we come back. And welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed your breakout groups, getting to know a few people a bit more closely and exploring the college-related initiative or program. So now for about the next 40 minutes or so, which sounds like a lot, but is going to go by quickly because we're going to cover 9 programs or initiatives. We're going to give each group the opportunity to share about what they talked about as a group and learned from their exploration. So when we call on your group, you will have 1 minute. We ask you really to limit it to those guiding questions that we posted. Tell us the mission or purpose of the program or initiative you learned about, who they serve, and then maybe one interesting fact. Then we're excited to share that we have a representative from each of those programs or groups here with us who can fill in some additional information, and they know this ahead of time, but we ask that they keep that to 1 or 2 minutes as well, just so that the activity remains within a reasonable time. I will be the timekeeper, so I might give you a bit of the Oscars wrap it up music if we're going a little bit long. So with no further ado, we'll move to the first group, which was Jumpstart. And so we invite the representative from the small group who looked into Jumpstart to go ahead and tell us a bit about what you learned.
Katie, I'll also just add really quickly that we actually have 2 groups going for the first several organizations. There'll be 2 groups going through Jumpstart.
Okay. So for those groups where there are, which is great, we weren't sure what to expect in terms of turnout numbers, but when there's more than one group, just go ahead and start chatting, and then if the other group has anything additional to add, feel free to let us know, and we'll follow that by letting the representatives from those groups share, from the program, share with us. So Jumpstart small groups, go ahead and take it away.
So Jumpstart provides language literacy and social emotional programming for preschoolers in under-resourced communities to promote early childhood education.
So Jumpstart is also a student organization at Temple, and it's affiliated at Temple. And it's a really good opportunity to meet a lot of other students with in different departments and stuff, because it's sort of a program that everyone can participate in.
Yeah, so we found out it's based in the College of Education, but it also offers like a bunch of opportunities to people who aren't certainly looking to become teachers. And it's been around since '93, and it's helped hundreds of thousands of kids. So yeah, really good stuff.
Fantastic. It sounds like not only did you learn about it, but you also got excited about it. Did anyone have an interesting fact that they found out that wasn't already mentioned? Okay, well then we'll turn it over to the 2 representatives we have here with us from Jumpstart. So go ahead, Brianna and Nick.
Hello, I'm Brianna.
And I'm Nick. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So again, we're going to talk a little bit about Jumpstart. I think all of you that just spoke got really to the big keys of things. We at Jumpstart are working towards a day where every child in America will enter kindergarten prepared to succeed. So we are an AmeriCorps organization as well, which has a lot of extra benefits to it. So with Jumpstart, what we do is we interact with different preschool classrooms and families that are in the North Philly community around Temple's campus, and we prepare them with the skills that they need to succeed in kindergarten. So we read books with children, we play lots of different games, crafts, activities, as well as supporting teachers and other classroom and community initiatives. In addition to that, we also just do a lot of other training and professional development experiences as well, just to prepare you in your future careers as educators or whatever else you may be going into. So Jumpstart's a 300-hour commitment. So in order to be eligible to join our program, you have to be a Temple student. You have to be willing to commit 300 hours of service over the entire school year. So from about the middle of September until about the end of April, beginning of May or so, comes down to about 13 hours per week. Some pieces of that schedule are flexible and some are a little restricted based on when we go into the classrooms for some direct time. So in order to be eligible to serve with our program, you have to have a session time available. So those times are listed a little bit at the bottom of the slide. I think some of it might have gotten cut off, but it's on the right side when we look at the 300-hour commitment. So you have to have either Monday and Wednesday, 9 to 12, Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 12, or those same sets of days, but from 3 to 6 available in order to serve with our program. So if you have that time available, you are eligible to serve with our program. So as some of the students mentioned before, it's a really great way to interact and meet other people, not only in the community, but at Temple. In the classroom, or at least in interacting with the children, you'll be working on a team. But every year we hire 80 Temple students. So it's a really great opportunity to meet lots of different people, interact with the community, and really learn a little bit more, not only about education, but nonprofit work. As an AmeriCorps program, at the completion of your service, you're eligible to earn an Education Siegel Award of about $1,300. So it's a nice added benefit. Thank you for being in the program. In addition to that, if you are eligible for work study, so based on your financial aid award letter, if you're eligible for work study, we are a work study job on campus. So you can get paid $8 per hour that you serve with us until your allotment runs dry too. So lots of other benefits besides just training and professional development and classroom experience. It's always nice to get paid. Those of you that are studying early childhood education HGCE, we have a new part of our program, which is a little smaller commitment. It's a 200-hour commitment, so a little less time per week. And because you're doing that less time per week, you will not receive that education award. The benefit of this program, though, is that you get to spend more time interacting and doing professional training alongside teachers at the schools that we directly work with, as well as some more intentional geared professional development experiences towards your life in the classroom as a future teacher. So we have two different options that are available to our program. If you think that Jumpstart jumping off the page is something that's really exciting for you, then you can go to jstart.org/apply and apply to be a core member for the 2020-2021 school year. But you'll see lots of people with red shirts around campus, I'm sure, as you're going through classes with things, and lots of other information posted on the College of Ed and Human Development page, as well as our emails that were listed prior and will be listed again if you have any other questions or concerns about them.
Thank you so much for that wonderful overview, Nick and Brianna. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Hi, Katie. So I am going to add one thing. Thank you so much, Nick, for that. Please keep in mind that for the 2020-2021 school year, we will not be entering the classroom for the fall. We will be providing a virtual program consisting a lot of training, in addition to some opportunities to make limited connections with our program partners. So I did just want to put that out there. We will not be in person for the fall semester, and we are keeping hope alive that in the spring we can continue with our traditional Jumpstart model.
Thank you. That's great information to have, and a really nice lead in to in a little bit when we get to our second activity, which is encouraging students to create some educational videos that can be used by programs like yours that are going to be virtual for some time. So fantastic. Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here. Thanks to the students who spent some time exploring. And we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our next group, Group 2A and 2B. We had at least 2 groups there. I believe one group focused a bit more on the Urban Youth Leadership Academy and another maybe more on Norris Community. So go ahead, tell us what you learned in your small group exploration.
So my group was focused more on the Norris community, and we learned that their mission is really to serve the less fortunate kids in the community, and it's really a community-based program. And I thought that a fun fact was it's residents who teach, and it's more focused on what the kids want in the classroom.
Fantastic, thank you. Anything else to add from others in the group or the other small group?
Oh, am I the other small group 2B?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we focused on the Urban Youth Leadership Academy. It was created specifically for middle school boys to pair them with mentors. It was used to guide them through the preparation of, because in Philly it said that it starts, high school applications start in the middle school and then mirrors the college applications. And I thought something that they said that was pretty interesting was that it connects them with opportunities that they might not normally have that guide them towards successful opportunities.
Great, I think you're spot on. So now we'll turn it over to our representative from Norris Community and Urban Youth Leadership Academy to tell us a bit more. Do we have you here, Dr. Raish?
Just unmuted myself so that you can all hear me. So as I was saying, I am just representing the Norris Community Resident Council who run this program, and it's really unique because it's community led, and it really was a vision that the community had 5 years ago to run an after school program and a summer camp out of their community center that's right in the heart of the neighborhood, and this is just adjacent to main campus on the east side. They serve students who are in kindergarten through 8th grade, and they're doing some really fun things. They're kind of going back to when students can do a lot of hands-on project-based learning. They have a STEM fair every year. One of the highlights was that they got on the news one year. They got the Channel 6 news out there, and the kids are so excited. What I'll say is we've got a lot of need around homework help. So the residents who are the staff there, they realized students and the families and parents who are working really needed this time to be when students were getting support for the homework they were bringing over. So that's when we started connecting our students from the College of Ed from 3 to 4 was always the homework help hour pre-COVID. And it's what we're going to be doing this year too. We're moving virtually. We've moved virtually, and I'll be pointing you to the bottom of the screen. Alexis Moran, she's my right hand, and she's going to be helping us just identify any students who want to be a volunteer, have an internship here, and we've had both turn into even paid positions over time. I would recommend that you reach out to her, and yeah, that's Norris. I'm also representing the Urban Youth Leadership Academy, which is just my heart. We started this program in 2016 with Dr. James Earl Davis, myself, and Dr. Davis is a professor here at the College of Education in Educational Leadership, and with Juwan Bennett, and he's a graduate student from the Department of Criminology. And what we started with was this cohort of 6 boys with an alumni donation that launched the whole thing. And we realized too, the principals identified we're a mentorship program, really. We're not an academic program. What we're doing is trying to be a launch pad program to connect students with, first of all, college access and coming on campus. So the program runs right here at the College of Ed, and we're also bringing in students, undergraduates, graduates, and professors of color. So students see themselves and see people who look like them at each point in their career and college pathway. So one other interesting thing is another alumni heard about the program and funded us to expand it to include females. So we've got a larger group now. Our students who started in 7th grade are now in high school. They're in 9th grade and up to 12th grade. We've moved virtually, so we're also seeking some support from undergraduates who would be interested in helping us develop some workshops that we would do throughout the year in a format just like this. And not only do we need the kind of students who are interested in that more one-on-one working as a mentor, but also a lot of administrative support on the back end. We've got a lot of resources we want to put together for the kids. So Alexis Moran is also facilitator of the female cohort. She's in the photo down there on the right. And she'd be another person you would want to contact to share just your info, just that you're interested. We'll get you in our database so that you can join us and help us. What we're trying to reimagine right now is we've got seed grants for every kid that normally they would do a community service project. They get $500, they create a budget, they identify a service project for their school, and they carry it out in their 8th grade year. We're trying to reimagine what that could look like in a virtual COVID world right now. So we'd be interested in your ideas for that.
Thank you so much for all that information. And it's wonderful to know there are so many great opportunities for students to get involved. So students, go ahead and jot down that contact information if you're interested. Next, we'll move on to group 3. So would group 3 breakout room members go ahead and tell us a bit about what you learned about Upward Bound and Stepping Stone Scholars?
So we learned that the goal of Upward Bound and UBMS is to increase the rate at which participants complete secondary education and enroll in and graduate from institutions of post-secondary education. Upward Bound and Upward Bound Math and Science have been highly successful in achieving their mission of preparing and graduating future college scholars.
Stepping Stone Scholars, something we thought was really great about them was that they say they are bridging the gap in the college pipeline. They provide education programs for underserved children ages, well, really youth, ages 10 through 24 in Philadelphia. And they have a bunch of different programs like Middle Grades Academy, Upward Bound, their pipeline services, and then the Stepping Stone Academy. Their core values are critical thinking, citizenship, hard work, and resilience. And they just celebrated being open for 20 years.
Fantastic. Well, that was a great overview and some really wonderful information to learn. And so now we'll hear a bit more from the representative here from Upward Bound and Stepping Stone Scholars.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Amanda. I'm the Math Science Coordinator for Upward Bound. I also have here with me Mr. Joey Blank. He is one of our head tutor mentors in the Upward Bound program as well. So before I let him kind of talk about his experiences, you guys did great with the acronyms and you got all the great buzzwords from our brand new marketing, so A+ to that group. So yes, we are a college access program. Upward Bound specifically, we work with high school students from all of the Philadelphia high schools and charter schools. Traditionally, they come on campus after school on Saturdays and in the summer to work with us for academic, professional, and social development. Specifically, our students work with tutoring, SAT prep, building their resumes, learning those things that they need to know as they advance through different grades and prepare for being a competitive college applicant. So before I say too much, I want to give most of the floor to Joey to talk about, what their role is as a tutor mentor and serving our students.
Hi everybody, I'm Joey. I'm a junior at Temple. I joined Upward Bound last year. As a tutor mentor, most of the time you're really just spent working one-on-one with scholars, helping them with their homework, helping them with test prep, and helping them with projects. You also get the opportunity to assist current teachers who are instructing courses, getting to watch them leading their class and helping them in the background. Really, over the time that I've been working there, I found that tutor mentors will find one area of kind of expertise or specialty that the scholars will know to reach out to you for. So if you're a strong English student, a strong history student, a strong Spanish student, this is a really great job to help you learn how to teach that class specifically.
Thank you, Joey. So just a couple of things I wanted to point out about him and the opportunity with our program is there are advancement opportunities of starting off at TMs, moving to instructional TMs who may help proctor classes, and head TMs who do things like Joey, who started a chess club that he now leads. We have a lot of auxiliary programming that comes from the strengths of our tutor mentor team. Specifically with this program, we are open to both work study and not work study. We also hire international students. So to move on to talk about Stepping Stone Scholars, thank you. Stepping Stone Scholars, they're our umbrella program of Upward Bound. They also have programs that work in similar capacities. There's a lot of tutoring opportunities for all majors. A lot of the programming, again, comes from the areas of interest of the staff. For example, they have a BLI program over the summer where they hire to work on coding and other computer systems. So there's a lot of niche programming within them. Specifically with Stepping Stone, all of their programming is only available for work study students, but they do work with middle school and high school. And one of the other major differences is that you may go out to the high school campuses, whereas Upward Bound, our students all come to Temple.
Great. Thank you so much, Amanda and Joey, and I hope you all can see the contact information there. We appreciate you for being here to tell us more, and thank you to the small groups who did some exploration. So moving on to our next group, which actually encompasses several different programs within the Intergenerational Center. So I invite the small group who explored the Intergenerational Center to give us the overview.
So the Intergenerational Center has been partnering with Temple University for 40 years. And what they do is they bring together people of all ages, which is intergenerational, to address social concerns and opportunities for engagement in the community. It's aimed at, it says, in order to strengthen students and caregivers in the community. So that's literally people of all ages. And they provide training, and they're just really trying to help everyone in our community, no matter what their age is.
Fantastic. That was a great overview. And so now, unless anyone else from the breakout room has something to add, I'll turn it over to the representative who's here with us from the Intergenerational Center, JT.
All right, thank you, Emma. You did a good job. It's hard to summarize IGC. We have a lot of different programs going on, but I would say to kind of summarize it as best as I can, we have a collection of programs, and they all recognize in some way that there's many generations that kind of make up our society, young to old. And we try to create programs and support programs that value and foster increased connection and support between generations. So I'm sure a lot of you are going to be K through 12 professionals and I mean, part of that is recognizing that it's not just what happens in the classroom between teachers and students, but there's a whole circle of people that are helping students, like parents, grandparents, neighbors, things like that. And likewise, students' worlds are not just academic. You know, they're also caring for family members, interacting with neighbors, with siblings, and things like that. So I would recommend that you go to the IGC website on the Temple College of Ed and Human Development website to see kind of the ins and outs of different programs. We have, I'll skip down to the blue section here. We do have a number of in-school programs, Grandma's Kids and Gear Up. What those will look like this year is very much up in the air. We're waiting for the school district to kind of let us know what that'll look like for college students who want to be a part of that. In the past, between Grandma's Kids and Gear Up, last year we had about 55 college students in schools helping in different ways, whether it was for events or for a weekly tutoring and mentoring. If you have questions on that, or if you have some interest or you just want to be sort of in the know as things develop, you can go to IGC or email us at igc@temple.edu. The two that are sort of a little unique in terms of how you can get involved, and these are programs that are ongoing right now despite the virtual nature of everything. One is Temple Cares, which is young adult job training. So we really focus on students who may have graduated from high school or finished high school and are looking to get into a sustainable career path somewhere in the healthcare field or something like that. So we always need tutors, mentors, people to kind of facilitate our different training sessions and things like that. So you can email igc@temple.edu just with your name and a short interest, a sentence that's saying you're interested in Temple Cares if you're interested in that kind of age group, which is really interesting and population that needs support, you know. And the other one is Time Out, and that's been a program that kind of looks at the value of younger generations and older generations. So traditionally, we've had students go to the homes of older adults that sometimes have conditions such as dementia or Alzheimer's. Sometimes they just want to interact with college students, and you build a relationship, help them, and help their caregivers to give them some time off. We're really excited what has happened during the summer, knowing that COVID has isolated both older adults, caregivers, and college students. We created Weekly Smile. By now we've served about over 100 hours of college students kind of curating a weekly interaction with the older adult with dementia. We have over 20 students from all over the Philly area kind of spending that hour, and it's made a huge difference in terms of social isolation, interaction, engagement, and we've heard good things from the college students about how it makes them feel during these times when we're all sort of stuck in our rooms. So I would recommend that you go to the website we have here if you're interested at all in that. And that's a volunteer opportunity. Grandma's Kids Gear Up are either volunteer or work study, and we'll see how the details of those things kind of roll out. So yeah, we'll stop with that. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a wonderful overview and so many fantastic opportunities. So again, the contact information is there for anyone who's looking. Thank you, JT, and thank you to the small group who did some exploration as well. So moving it along to our next group, we have Dr. Kersey here to tell us about Temple Education Scholars. Oh, sorry, and I mixed up the order. Before we do that, I'm going to ask that the small group who looked into exploring Temple Education Scholars go ahead and tell us a bit about what you learned in your 1-minute synopsis.
Hi, speaking for Group 6A, we learned that the Temple Education Scholars Dual Enrollment Program, or TES, it's a year-long program geared towards geared towards college-bound high school students that are interested in a profession as an educator of sorts. In a sense, it's kind of like a preparatory program where it gets these 12th graders 15 college credits that kind of prepare them for what a college course load is going to be like. It prepares them for one of the 4 college majors of early childhood education, middle grade education, secondary education, and human development / community engagement. And the only participation requirement is that upon enrollment, you are an 11th grader going into 12th grade, and you have a GPA of 3.0 or better and are interested in education.
Wonderful, thanks. So now we'll go ahead and turn it over to our representative from Temple Education Scholars.
Thank you, Marcel and Group A, Group 6A. That was a great overview of the program. So I'll just add a little bit more detail, which is that the students from the School District of Philadelphia are invited to participate in our program. We started in 2018-2019 with 12 scholars. We had 13 scholars this past year, and we have another 12 scholars joining us this year. We're excited to support them in their interest in teaching. This is a college initiative that's supporting not only college access as an outgrowth of our programs Upward Bound and Upward Bound Math and Science, but also really focused on educator diversity. So increasing the number of Black and Latinx teachers in teaching in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if some of you know this yet, but 96% of teachers in Pennsylvania are white, and that's not reflective of our student population. 33% of our public school students in the Commonwealth are students of color. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done to shift that representation, in addition to knowing that we can all learn a lot from having teachers with diverse backgrounds and perspectives. So as Marcel shared, that the students come to us in 12th grade and they spend every afternoon of their senior year with us on campus. This fall, they'll be joining us virtually. They're either participating in class or participating in programming. So that programming could be introduction to university resources like the Career Center or the Writing Center, other places that you all will hopefully utilize as you start your time at Temple. And they'll also get support from undergraduate and graduate student staff around how to submit their college applications, how to apply for scholarships, how to complete the FAFSA. So this kind of support needs a lot of student support from our Temple undergraduates and graduate students. So we have opportunities within our program for positions such as college success coaches, tutor mentors, much like the tutor mentors in Upward Bound, and college ambassadors. And we have work study positions available, and we also love people to volunteer. So if there's something that you want to get involved with and learn more about as a result of your personal interest or professional path, we would love to have you get involved. So if you want to learn more information or learn how you can participate in Temple Education Scholars, or even if you know 12th grade or incoming 11th grade students who will be 12th grade next year, 21-22, who might be interested, we'd love you to connect them to us. You can contact Sam Horkus at the email address there, and I look forward to meeting all of you, and best wishes for the semester. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a great overview. And again, more wonderful opportunities to get involved. So I hope everyone is considering what sounds like the best fit for you. So moving on to our next group, which took a look at the Temple Teacher Residency Program. Go ahead and tell us a bit about what you learned for your 1-minute overview.
Actually, I'm going to do the overview. We had a really intense conversation, getting to know each other, and thinking about and talking about our favorite books. So we didn't designate someone to report out. So I'm gonna report out on the Temple.
We support that.
Yes, and Nicole and Sydney were wonderful and started, and we were actually looking at the website when we were brought back to the group. But the Temple Teacher Residency Program is it's a teacher education program aimed at developing and preparing a new generation of diverse and highly motivated educators who teach math, science, and Spanish. The program is in partnership with the School District of Philadelphia, and the model is a year-long residency where students observe and actually teach. The students are recruited primarily because they have backgrounds in math and science, and many of them are career changers, and they actually provide a tuition and a full salary. Graduates of the Temple Teacher Residency Program commit to teaching 3 years in the Philadelphia School District.
Great, that sounds like a wonderful synopsis. And we'll go ahead and turn it over to our representative from the program.
Yes, thank you. Hello, welcome everybody. And that synopsis was fantastic. I'm going to have him present at our next webinar. So welcome everyone. My name is April Morton, and I am the residency coordinator for Temple Teacher Residency, or more commonly known as TTR. And like you just heard, we are a one-year accelerated master's program, but we're designed to give a fully immersive experience into your journey in becoming a teacher. And some things that are really special about that is that while you are a full-time student at Temple University, you are also a full-time employee of the partners that you heard mentioned earlier, which are the School District of Philadelphia and String Theory Schools, which means that you will receive a full-time salary. In addition to that, some of the benefits is that you are part of a cohort model. And that is just something that has proved to be beyond beneficial. When we get our survey data back, a lot of people report that going this whole route into the teaching career with a whole group of other people that are with you just forms this network and this hedge around you that just really proves invaluable. In addition to being part of a cohort model, you are also paired with a mentor teacher in this year-long residency model. So we go through an extensive process to match you with just the right person to support you throughout the year. And so you work hand in hand as a co-teacher with this mentor for the entire school year. You are not introduced as the student teacher or as the teacher helper, but truly you are introduced as a co-teacher into the classroom. And we follow what's considered a gradual release model. So you will increasingly, as the year goes on, according to a pacing scale, take on increasingly more responsibilities in the classroom. One of the other things that's a huge benefit is that after graduation, you are guaranteed a job. And so the additional benefit of that is that we do not leave you. So I'm with you throughout the whole recruiting process. I'm with you getting you into the program, and I'll also be supporting you for 2 years of post-grad. And so it's really just a fantastic opportunity to, like I said, get that fully immersive experience in your journey to becoming a teacher. And if you have any questions, my name is April Morton, and I can't believe I didn't put it on this slide, but the intro slide, if you want to go back to the intro slide just for a second, so they can write down my email address, it's april.morton@temple.edu. And if you have any questions of any type, even if it's something that maybe you know somebody or you want to recommend us, we really do appreciate the word of mouth representation that we get. I also do want to plug our other partner that I work and support for, and that's Troops to Teachers. We actually really work hard to support our veterans. And if you know of any veterans who are interested in going into teaching, just send them our way and we will take care of them as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so our final 2 programs and initiatives, including our final 2 groups, are both out of the Institute on Disabilities. You heard Dr. Gould Taylor speak earlier, and so now we'll talk about 2 of the particular programs and initiatives that happen out of the Institute on Disabilities, which you'll hear called IOD. So would the group who explored leadership and career studies tell us a bit about what they learned?
So with Leadership and Career Studies, it is a 4-year certificate program providing young adults with intellectual disabilities an authentic college experience while developing academic abilities, career aspirations, work skills, and independence at Temple University.
Wonderful. Did your group take note of any interesting facts? Leadership and Career Studies has a nice social media presence that maybe you fell upon some things if you happen to do some internet searching. And if not, it's a plug to look it up. That's okay. Well, thank you for looking into it. Now I'll turn it over to Jack Badger, who is here to tell us more about Leadership and Career Studies.
Ashlyn, excellent work with your research, and thanks to your group as well. I am privileged to be here representing Leadership and Career Studies. We are, as you said, Ashlyn, a four-year certificate program. Essentially what we are, we offer a fully inclusive, authentic Temple University college experience for the students who participate in our program. To be eligible for our program, students have to be evaluated as having an intellectual disability or an autism spectrum diagnosis. But honestly, what we do is just provide what Temple provides. I mean, that's really kind of the beauty of our program. We're not doing anything really, unique. Certainly nothing exclusive. It's fully inclusive for our students. And another awesome opportunity for all of you that are kind of on this call is that we employ matriculated degree-seeking Temple students to help support our students with just making that transition from high school to college and to really just kind of get their feet on the ground. As you guys all know, college is a demanding experience, academically, getting involved, making use of all of the campus's resources, and then being obviously in an urban campus, getting to know the city as well, on top of everything else that you're kind of juggling with your experience. And that's, we hire coaches. That's kind of our equivalent to Upward Bounds and the Temple Education Scholars Mentor Tutor combo. It's very similar in regards to what that position kind of entails and the work that they're doing with their partners. It's a very similar experience, except while it does have a one-on-one element to it, you're getting to know students, you're attending the classes, the traditional undergraduate classes that they're enrolled in. You're helping to kind of guide them as far as what collegiate note-taking entails, how to engage properly with a professor in class, how to utilize Temple's just swath of applications and resources like Temple email, Canvas, TU portal, all of those things as well, so that our students kind of know how to navigate all of the ins and outs and just that Temple kind of requires you to do in order to be a successful student. On top of kind of that academic support, our coaches also work with students to just get involved and participate in extracurriculars that match with the students' goals and interests and ambitions. So, I mean, I'm sure everything that I'm saying right now, it's just coming across as emulating what you're kind of hoping for yourself at college. That's what our pitch is to students and coaches who come from all manners, backgrounds, discourses, pursuits, and majors across the university come together and support our students in a compensated position throughout the semester. Coaches work around 10 hours a week, I'd say, and the beauty of it is the majority of it's all on campus. Your time with your student partners is structured all around your class schedule and your extracurricular schedule. So you're almost like building your own schedule. If you're someone that likes to have just classes back to back throughout the course of the day, that's something that you would have the opportunity to build with your student partner. Evenings open if you want to go to athletic events or Temple's awesome array of campus events that are open to all students. Weekends as well, when football games come back and fans are able to attend again. Those are just some of the high profile, high value events that a lot of our coaches and students participate in together. So what would bring you to Leadership and Career Studies? Honestly, if you're just looking to get to know the university more, if you're looking to make a difference, if you're looking to, earn some scratch on the side, working a really, just easy job for the most part that just involves relationship building and helping someone to achieve their potential, Leadership and Career Studies is certainly the opportunity for you. We have 2 pretty mass hiring periods each academic year in preparation for the subsequent semester. And as it kind of says on the slide, that usually for the spring semester usually kicks off in October, and for the fall semester usually kicks off in March. But we're always accepting applications on a rolling basis throughout the year. So even if you apply and miss the hiring period, you'd be considered for the following semester. Or if you apply before the recruitment period starts, you would have your app submitted, and we would be able to get back to you for consideration once we do start the interview phase of things. So looking forward to meeting some of you down the line, regardless of if you're an education major or wherever that may take you within the college. but hopefully I'll be able to meet you guys down the line and you'll be able to participate with us.
Thanks, Jack. That was wonderful. And hopefully all of you will get to know some of our Leadership and Career Studies students who are part of our Temple community. And we appreciate that overview about how to get involved. So last but certainly not least, we had Tech Owl. And as a quick note, we apologize, the slides seem to have some kind of mind of their own suddenly and are doing all of this flipping around, but we hope it's not too distracting. So would the group who looked into Tech Owl tell us a bit about it before we turn it over to our representative?
So I'm representing group 9A, and we did Tech Owl. And Tech Owl is it's a branch off of a larger group. I don't remember what it's called right now, but essentially they help people with disabilities get free telephones or used equipment, and they help them find current tools and technology that can just assist them in their everyday lives. And then a fun fact is the lending library. Most people think of books in the library, but actually they have a lot of tech that you can try out first and then decide to buy it if it works for you.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was a great overview. So I will let Tom, who's here with us from Tech Owl, go ahead and tell us a bit more.
Hello. Nora, thank you so much. That was actually better than I could have ever expected. Someone to understand all of the resources that we have, especially with all of the lingo that we have within the assistive technology world. So I'm here representing Tech Owl. Tech Owl is an outward-facing organization that is housed at Temple University, but we help Pennsylvanians throughout the state access and learn about assistive devices or assistive technologies. And these are all Pennsylvanians that have disabilities or that work with people who have disabilities. This is a state-funded program. There are 57 in the nation. Each state and territory has one, and Temple is lucky to house the Pennsylvania State's Assistive Technology Act program is the actual term. So assistive technology, that's a big term. What does that mean? Assistive technology is any piece of technology that can augment someone's ability or increase their access, right? And that access could be computer access, accessing a physical building, accessing an object, accessing information. Assistive technology is this very, very general term, and that's what we work with. So shifting gears, Tech Owl has been really prolific with our responses to COVID-19. And one of those is this event that I'm plugging right now for you guys. In the IOD with the Leadership and Career Studies, they have paid positions and they have a lot of student workers that help out so much. Since our resources are so spread out across the state, we don't usually have student workers, but we're starting to build up a volunteer base, and we would love for education majors and any Temple undergraduates to assist us. So because of COVID-19, many people have needed a lot more assistive devices throughout the state. And one thing that we have kind of run into is this access to masks, specifically masks for people who use a sip and puff switch. So as you see in the image on the screen, this is a man that uses his mouth and his breathing to control his motorized wheelchair. So the object needs to go into his mouth to be able to move, to be able to navigate space. When you have a mask, you are unable to cover that mask. And so we are having a make-a-thon to make sip and puff adapted masks for individuals that use sip and puff switch to move around their wheelchairs. So that event is on September 18th. I have left my email on the slide. We would love to have as many volunteers. We are trying to get out 200 masks. I'm not sure if we're gonna reach that goal, but I really appreciate this opportunity as well to the College of Education to allow Tech Owl to share what we do, but also for us to try and gain a volunteer base.
Fantastic, Tom. And I think you coordinate some of the social media efforts from Tech Owl, right? So I'm sure this will be advertised. So feel free to, from all the organizations that you heard today, I encourage both students on here as well as faculty and staff to go ahead and follow a lot of these groups and organizations in the different mediums available so that you can stay abreast of what's going on. Well, thank you. So that wraps up our first service activity. And I have to say, it was just so wonderful. It feels like such a full community. And I know that's not a feeling we all have had the chance to get a lot lately with the pandemic. And so it's been great to bring together so many people doing fantastic work and then to share it with our newest community members, you, the students that are here. So thank you for diving right in and working with us. With that, we thank our guests who joined us, our representatives from the different programs and initiatives. You're welcome to stay with us for the second service activity, but you do not need to if you're not interested. And so we will jump over to the second service activity. And just as a note, I shared that PDF again that Dr. Booth had shared earlier in case that you need it. This will have the directions you can take with you into your breakout rooms for the second service activity. It also has the multimedia release form, which I'm going to get to in a moment. So our second service activity is called Education Creation Station. And the idea is that so many schools and students and programs and teachers are remote right now and struggling often to find content to fill the time, especially when maybe everyone has gotten a little exhausted of just verbal back and forth. And so having something different and unique to mix it up can be a great addition. So we are inviting you to either individually or with a partner or a group of partners from the college work on creating an educational video that might be used by a classroom or a program. It can be for students in any grade range. You can think pre-K through high school, and maybe even students thinking about transitioning into college. You can think about a wide variety of topics. It can be something like a book read aloud, say you're thinking about younger or middle grade students, something like a science experiment across the grade span, art projects that range in age, language learning, which really could be used by a wide variety of students, anything with well-being like yoga or nutrition. It can be something informational. It can be an activity. We encourage you, you're not going to be creating the videos right now. Right now, you're going to spend time in a breakout room for about 10 to 15 minutes doing another quick get to know you, because you will be in a new small breakout room, I believe, which Erica can confirm. But you'll again do a quick get to know you, and then you'll just spend 10 minutes talking about what comes to mind as something that plays upon your interests and strengths that you could create a video about for us to add to a digital resource collection that we can then share with our partner organizations. So I'm going to ask Emily, who's manning our PowerPoint here, to jump to our next one. So again, you'll chat about it for 15 minutes in your breakout room. The faculty or staff member may not be an expert in the specific area that you're thinking about exploring, but the idea is that's another person you get to know from the college, and they can also maybe provide you some guidance based on their experience. But so you'll just be spending this time talking. And then what we ask is that if you do spend time in the next, say, week or week and a half after Convocation, going ahead and following through with creating that video, which we really encourage you to do so that it can be an excellent donation in a different medium, a video donation to the programs and partners that we work with. To put on our College of Education and Human Development's YouTube page. So with that said, when you submit your short video that can be used by a classroom or a program, we ask that you send it to cehdmarketing@temple.edu, and that you also submit with it the multimedia release form, which I have included as the last page in that service activity outline. And in addition to the videos, which we'll be serving in their own way as a donation, we're also going to be donating books again for every video that we get in. So before we jump into the breakout rooms where you'll have a chance to chat, any final follow-up questions about this activity? Okay, so I'm going to ask Erica to go ahead and place you in those breakout rooms, and we'll come back together in about 15 minutes and you'll have a chance to share out if you're interested, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Welcome back. Thank you to those of you who have stayed on and participated in that second service activity. Before we have people maybe volunteer to share some of their ideas, just a quick reminder of where you'll send that video if you work on it independently or with a partner or partners. You'll send the video and that multimedia release form that's included in the PDF to cehdmarketing@temple.edu. And we've set a date of next Friday, which would be great to get the videos by, to go ahead and set them up on our YouTube channel. But if you're going to be a bit delayed, feel free to let us know. So with that said, are there any groups who would like to go ahead and share some of the ideas that you were talking about?
I'll go. We're group 2A, and we were talking about how, like, you know, when you're young, you're so used to seeing the pictures and the books and stuff and having everything filled in for you and just seeing it there. But when you get older, you know, the picture books go away and you're supposed to read in between the lines and stuff, but nobody teaches you how to do that, like how to be a thinker. So we were just talking about like making a video on how to actually like use your imagination and how to read in between those lines. And yeah.
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea. You can probably cite examples from different books or stories that you all are familiar with, or maybe had that experience with. Wonderful. Anyone else or other groups?
I can.
My group, sorry. My group was 4A, and we talked mostly about getting the kids outside because all three of us, like students in there, were early education majors. So younger kids have so much energy and they just need to get it out. So we were talking about just getting them outside, doing some fun like workout videos or anything that involves like nature or like just any like science experiment, just anything outside. Just to get them out for the fresh air.
That's fantastic.
My group was talking about making a more art-based video, and what we could do is so that it could be accessible for people of all ages. We could do like an origami video, for example, but you can make like a series of videos and make the difficulty harder for different ages. So like an age range of like, you know, K through 4th grade, and then middle school, and then maybe like a high school thing, and then a college thing. So like, and you can say, this can decorate your dorm room, or this can decorate your, you know, your play area for like a younger kid. So just making it accessible, I think is really important for like making videos like these.
That's wonderful. It's great that you were thinking about those different extensions and kind of levels of scaffolding or difficulty. Great. Well, we certainly hope that you all use this activity as something that you know will be meaningful to those groups that we just learned about, and also as just a nice way to continue to get to know one another and to really dive into the world of education and human development in this way. So feel free to reach out to any of us. You have a lot of our contact information now from this PowerPoint. You can always just reach out to us at cehdmarketing@temple.edu, even before submitting a video if you had a question about format or things like that, as well as I'm sure the faculty and staff who were in your breakout rooms would welcome continued conversation. I know we're all excited to get to know you in this format and at the start of a new school year. So with that said, I will turn it over to Erica, who will help close us out. And thank you everyone for your participation in the service activities. This has been great.
Hi everyone, and thanks to Katie for doing such a great job hosting tonight. To all the students and staff and faculty who have helped to make this a really powerful and informative virtual convocation, our first. So we just want to remind you 2 housekeeping notes about the other 2 remaining live synchronous events that we'll have this week that are open to all College of Education and Human Development students. So not just incoming undergraduate students, but the next 2 events are open for everyone. So we have a career development and alumni presentation on Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Our Office of Field Placement and Professional Experiences will be hosting this event. We'll be having lots of different student-based organizations come to speak in different ways for you to get involved. We'll have an alumni panel. We'll talk about different resources and career services that are open and accessible to you as College of Education and Human Development students. So again, that's this Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. So we encourage you all to register. And then Friday afternoon from 4 to 6, there is a coffee and conversation with department chairs. So there will be many different faculty members that will be on the line to answer any questions that you may have, or just ways to get to know each other, get acclimated. So they will definitely be on the line Friday afternoon if you'd like to spend a couple hours getting to know the people in your department. And we are doing great on time, so we're very proud of that. We have about 12 minutes to spare, so everyone is welcome to leave, but we will stay on the line until at least 6 o'clock. If any students have any questions at all, we encourage some staff and faculty to also stay on the line, but students are welcome to leave unless you have questions for us. And then if not, we hope to see you Thursday and Friday this week.